Nobody talks about the hardest part of changing your life. It's not starting, it's becoming the person who can sustain it. Changing your identity feels amazing at first. Then suddenly it feels impossible. That's actually how you know it's working. Let me guide you through the identity stabilization phases that you are going through before your new identity is totally stabilized. Let's get going. New identity stabilization. If you are on this channel, you have big dreams, big ambitions, just like me. And you are not outside of yourself wanting to be somebody else. You are still you the whole time, the authentic you, while stabilizing a new behavior, while making the new wanted behavior natural for you. And in order for this to happen, you have to climb a mountain. There are 6 phases, and the first phase is the resistance phase. It's hard before starting because you all have all this imagination about, oh, this is going to be hard. There may be some fear, some anticipation, some nervous system resistance to it. Often you need the pain to deepen before you are initiating the change of the behavior. Then you come to phase 2, the honeymoon phase. It's exciting, it's going fast, you feel results, momentum. You may experience, okay, this is not that difficult. I can actually handle it. The motivation is high here, and the new identity feels exciting. Things start opening up for you. But then the mountain is going to be more steep. Now you are climbing the mountain. This is the identity friction phase, the steep mountain. This is the meeting of the old self versus the new self. Here, nervous system resistance comes in. You may feel exhaustion, you may feel emotional friction, urges to relapse, identity instability. You are moving more and more away from your behavior, the old nervous system behavior, more and more into the new. And this feels like a steep climb. When it feels the hardest, you are often very near to the top. You have to understand something important here. When you are stabilizing a new identity, your nervous system may interpret the new behavior as unsafe because it is unfamiliar. Your old identity, your old emotional patterns were predictable. Even your suffering was predictable. When you begin acting differently, speaking differently, showing up differently, your system can temporarily experience that as danger. That is why you suddenly procrastinate, become exhausted, or feel emotionally chaotic right before breakthrough. Not because you are failing, but because your system is trying to return you to what is familiar. This is why grounding matters so much during identity stabilization. You do not stabilize through force. You stabilize through repetition without abandoning yourself. But I will explain how you may make it to the last phase of identity stabilization in the last part of this video. And the mountain gets steeper and steeper until you reach the plateau, phase 4, the plateau phase. And when you are at the top, there is a new plateau stabilizing. Everything becomes easier. The new behavior becomes more natural for you. You experience less resistance, less emotional intensity around it, but also less excitement. And the danger here is complacency and stopping too early before your new identity is stabilized. And then it's all about just keeping doing it. Even when it's easy, that is also a new risk of having a relapse. Because now it's easy and it's like, okay, it doesn't matter. Now I got it, so I can stop doing the behavior that I have worked so hard to get to for normalizing it. No, now when it's easy, now you have to keep practicing the new behavior. Most people relapse from their new behavior, from their new identity in phase 3 or 4. The plateau phase slides over in phase 5, which is the stabilization phase. Here's the tricky part, because here's the phase where you actually have to keep going to stabilize it in concrete. The concrete is going to be dry here, and this is the phase where you are actually forming it to be your new behavior, like forever in this lifetime. This is just going to be you. This is an important, tricky phase that will at least last for 50 to 90 days. In this phase, repetition locks identity in, behavior becomes self-image, nervous system normalization happens around the new behavior, embodiment happens. This is no longer about doing, here you are becoming. When this phase is over, you are automatically sliding into the 6th phase, embodiment identity phase. This is just who you are now, simply. There is no effort, no internal conflict. The behavior is automatic. Your identity is aligned. We do not talk about discipline anymore because it's not needed. So you can look at it, this new behavior forming, as when you are getting a teeth regulation, the brace is getting regulated, tensed up, and then your teeth, they feel very tender, they may hurt for a while, for 2 nights, and then the 3rd night it's going to be better. That's exactly like this. After 20 days or 40 days, you are again going to the dentist to get the brace regulated, then your teeth feel even more tender. Or like forming a metal can, you have to hold it for it to keep the form, hold it for a long time for it to change the form of the can before you can let it go and you can be sure that it keeps the new form. Those are the mentality you can have in mind about this identity stabilization. For me, it was very hard to keep a clear counter every night. It was very messy. And I promised myself every night before bed, my counter has to be clear, my washing machine has to be turned on, the kitchen has to be like closing down and ready for the next day to reopen, like in a restaurant. That was hard in the beginning. It was easier and easier. Then it was hard. I kept going. Then it became easy. I just kept doing it because I knew now it is easy and now I can let go. But if I let go, I can also let go tomorrow and the next day, and the behavior will be dropped, die. So I kept going, and now it's just the most natural thing for me to do. I just do it. It's just like brushing my teeth. There's no discussion in my head. And that's when I know it is a grounded, embodied personality trait in me. I've adapted it. It's a conscious adaptation. Now you know how it works. Just get going. It's fun, hard, fun, simple. Here is how to survive the journey. Because now the question becomes, how do you actually make it through phase 3 without collapsing back into your old self? When you have started, that will be the steep climbing phase, and it can be rough, but you keep going. You take it easy. You remember to stay grounded. That's the most important thing while you're climbing this, while you keep going, just one step after another. You have to do an effort to ground yourself here, to align yourself. Grounding is very important here because this takes care of that you are not being thrown off on side tracks. And when you are, you can pick yourself up and put yourself back into the center. Feel yourself again. Active spaciousness is important here. I may also have a video about that. It's making it way easier for you to get through all those phases to the end. Nervous system pacing, so slowing down internally. That doesn't mean that you have to do less or doing things slowly, but you may if you are not clear on how to slow yourself down internally. Slowing yourself down internally is a state that you can achieve through meditation, for example. I go into the state of feeling my thighs, feeling how my feet feels. There is swirling in my feet and my thighs. That is actually the parasympathetic nervous system that I am feeling. When you are feeling after the swirling feeling in your feet and thighs, this is the beginning of this state. You breathe slower. If you don't have access to that feeling, you can take a fast run, lie down on the floor, feel your feet. You can pull yourself down in very cold water for just 10 seconds or a little longer, come up again, and a warm, fuzzy feeling of the blood just swirling around your body. This is also a parasympathetic nervous system that is turned on. But the internal slowness is about thoughts, and if they are not turned offable, then you may actually slow down physically. Take 50% of your pace. This helps tremendously. The slowing down alters how your nervous system experiences the new behavior. So it experiences it less as danger and more as just something that you are doing. The slowing down may be a pressure point, something new in itself. So you may also get used to that. If you are not someone who usually slows down or take rests voluntarily, do that. Because without taking rests and slowing down voluntarily, the system will always force you to collapse. That is why you are burning down. You have these momentum, activity. I'm growing, forced burnout. You are just put down. You cannot do anything. You recover again. Please stop this cycle. I explain this cycle in this video so you will understand it once and for all. Well, it gets much easier when you keep yourself authentic and you are honest to yourself. When you keep yourself responsible for how you are feeling. So I talk about responsibility in another video. This is important. You have to take responsibility for how you feel. You have to take responsibility for what your needs are in the moment so that you are not hustling, cheating yourself into feeling something that you want to feel, but actually are not feeling, because then you are not aligned. Then you are not being you. It actually puts you on a sidetrack. And from a sidetrack, it's easy to fall down the mountain. How do I feel? This is awful. This is shit. I feel like shit. Be honest about it. Feel into it. Take responsibility for it. What can I do to actually get through this? What can I actually do to maybe lower my bar a little bit, lower my expectations to myself so that I can get through this? It is allowed. It's better to lower the bar a little, not have that much expectations for yourself, than to relapse, because it will get easier and then you can raise the bar again. The success rate is getting higher when you are expecting resistance, when you are getting ready for resistance. It will come. When it comes, I will be easy around it. I will feel into ease. I will be aware around it. How will you work around the resistance? Because it will most surely come. Have some non-negotiables ready that you are going to be doing every day. For example, with my counter, I just had to do it. It was okay if it took 5 minutes and looked a bit like shit and I didn't actually get everything done. But I did it. I did the routine. I did what I could with the resources I had. I may have had 3 screaming children. Sometimes it is like that when you have 3 small kids. I had to take all this into consideration, take responsibility for it, lower the bar according to this. But just so that my body, my nervous system had the feeling, yes, I cleared the counter, my disher is on, everything done. Cognitive identity work. Write on a piece of paper or a notebook what identity you want to have. Write some sentences around that. I am someone who stays. I endure hard times easily. I have the capacity to stay present. I am enjoying being the CEO of my company. Read them to yourself aloud every morning and every night before you're going to sleep. This may only be 6 sentences about the new identity. And this is how a new identity stops being effort and becomes who you are. Most people think transformation fails because they lack discipline, but I don't think that's true anymore. I think that we just never learned how to stay with the discomfort of becoming someone new. I'll see you in the next video.